I appreciate that. And I believe your first contact with Riedel was actually with my father in Tokyo, in Japan.
It was in February or March 1990. I was a very, very junior product manager working for the Krug distributor in Japan. And my first mission was to organize a tasting with Mr. Riedel himself for Vinexpo or Foodex, this kind of big event. And I will always, always remember this tasting when we had 3 shapes of glasses. I remember your dad had, that was not PowerPoint, that was like overhead presentation at that time, explaining how the wine was moving and touching the senses in the mouth. That completely, from day one in my career, changed my perception of how important the glasses are.
But let's also talk about food pairing. So you have lived in Japan for 2 years. And you are, like I am, a huge fan of Japanese culture. And I see you and follow you obviously on Instagram, and I see how often you go to Japan, and you most of the time go to the same sushi chef that I do. So we have something else in common. What do you think is the perfect match for Krug Champagne, food-wise?
I think the most extraordinary one was a dinner I did at Kitcho in 1991, and I had to convince my distributor to go to Kitcho. And my distributor said, "No, Olivier, this is the Japanese culture. You cannot go." And I said, because there is no champagne there. And I told him, I said, there is no champagne in Japan, so we will make the rule. So we went to Kitcho, we opened bottle, and the chef at that time, Yuki-san, felt in love so much with Krug that he decided to hold the very first Krug champagne and Japanese food event in Japan. And you know what happened over the time?
Of course.
Probably sell more champagne in Japanese style restaurants than others. There is one place which I love, which I can promote because no one can book. It is in Osaka. It is called Tada Sushi. The counter is large like my desk here. It's very, very small. It's like 6 seats. And this man, every night in his ice bucket, he has a bottle of Krug open. And he will only sell 5 glasses from this bottle. But he sells 1 bottle of Krug per year. And I know that some chefs are listening to us tonight, and I do invite them to have every night a bottle of Krug open in their ice bucket, the proper glasses.
What an inspiration.
And
what an inspiration.
Serving to their clients every day a bottle of Krug.
Absolutely.
Of course, we are delighted to welcome you. I travel to 25 countries a year. The biggest Krug market is Japan, where I started as Riedel did. This is another point we have in the early 90s. And I know if I may drop a name, I would say hello to Wolfgang, because both Wolfgang and myself were very, very junior promoters and developers in Japan in the early 90s. And you know where we've built our brands and connections today. The second market in size is the US.
No, I mean, Japan, you know that we have opened a little wine boutique / glass boutique in Ginza. So this was a dream that came true for my family, started by my father, who ventured off to Japan for the first time. Our packaging, the Riedel box, the black and red, is very much influenced by the Japanese culture. And we are selling Krug champagne. So I'm very proud to say that not only do I drink your champagne, but I'm also selling your champagne in our bar in Ginza, which is very, very special. Olivier, so far this was fun. Thank you for being with us. What else would you like to share with us?
I want to share my love to everyone in these difficult times, which are not over, but we need to remain confident. For those of you who are in the industry, we will be on your side. You were asking me about my next trip, but my next trip will be the first place where there will be an opportunity to help the people and not to just make noise and fun. So I am sending you love and Maximilian. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I have failed a challenge because I went back to the office for the first time in 6 weeks today to find, and I could not find it today, this interview that we did together 20 years in Japan.
Imagine.
You haven't changed.
I have not changed. Thank you. You haven't either. So Olivier and I go back 20 years. We have met in Japan. Just shows that wine unites the world. And my father always used to say, water divides us, wine unites us. This is where we met. And obviously Japan, with all its culture, food, and obviously the passion for Krug champagne is so unique. And it's also unique for our glasses. And I can only confirm what you're saying. Our job must be, as soon as we're allowed to travel again, is to assist our partners, to make it accessible, to make it easy for people to find back into the life, into business, because I think that restaurants, hotels are suffering in terms of industry the most. Austria has opened last week small shops, next week big shops, but only May 15th we are allowed to open restaurants, followed by hotels. And it's devastating. So Olivier, final word, because we have 2 more minutes before it shuts down. I love you. I love your champagne. Thank you for taking the time. I raise my glass to all of you out there. Yes. Santé, cheers, stay healthy. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in good spirit again.
Thank you very much. Cheers to all of you. Stay at home, be safe, and see you very soon. We love you.
We love you.
Thank you, Maximilian.
Cheers. Cheers, Olivier. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Bonne nuit.
Merci.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us. It was a great pleasure, a great honor. Thank you so much.